was fighting cancer alone. The people who were supposed to love me most weren't there. When my dad finally showed up, I said just 4 words, and he froze. Cancer had completely turned my life upside down. I used to be independent, busy with work, friends, and hobbies I loved. I thought I was strong, untouchable, but suddenly I was a patient, weak, exhausted, and scared. I needed support. I needed my parents. I expected them to be there, to hold my hand, to tell me everything would be okay, to remind me I wasn't alone in this fight. But they weren't. Weeks turned into months. I had surgeries, chemotherapy, endless doctor appointments, and nights I couldn't sleep from pain or fear. I sent them texts, called them repeatedly, hoping for a single message. We're here. You'll get through this. We love you. Nothing. Meanwhile, other patients had family visiting daily, flowers, meals, comforting words, someone to sit beside them when the pain became too much. I had silence, empty chairs, nurses who were kind but couldn't replace what I truly needed. The loneliness ate at me. I felt invisible, abandoned by the people who were supposed to protect me. I would sit by the window, looking out at the world, wishing someone would show up, not because I wanted pity, but because I wanted to feel that I mattered. Then, one evening, I heard the hospital door open. A familiar, heavy step. It was my dad. I froze. Relief should have washed over me, but it didn't. Anger, disbelief, hurt, all of it boiled up inside me. Why now? I asked quietly, my voice trembling. He opened his mouth, stammered, couldn't find the words. The man who had raised me, who I had always looked up to, seemed smaller than I had ever seen him. It hit me. After months of absence, he finally showed up, not because of care, but because he felt he had to. And in that moment, I knew exactly what I needed to say. Just 4 words. Words that would stop him in his tracks. Words that would make him face the reality of what he had done. I looked him straight in the eyes and waited. The hospital room was quiet except for the faint hum of machines and the soft rustle of nurses' footsteps outside. My dad stood near the doorway, shifting nervously from one foot to the other, as if trying to make up for the months he hadn't been there. My mom lingered behind him, wringing her hands, her eyes wide with worry, or maybe guilt. I could feel my heart pounding in my chest. Months of abandonment, nights spent alone in fear, surgeries, chemotherapy, and endless doctor visits all came rushing back. Every unanswered call, every text left unread, every empty hospital chair was a weight pressing down on me. I took a deep breath. The words I had rehearsed countless times in my head were now burning in my throat, ready to escape. This was the moment. For words that would pierce the silence and finally make them realize the cost of their absence. Where were you? I said, my voice calm but firm. My dad's face went pale. He opened his mouth, but no words came. He cleared his throat, tried again. I raised a hand, stopping him mid-sentence. 4 words. That's all I need, I said, my eyes locking with his. The silence stretched for a few seconds, thick and heavy. I could see the realization dawn on him, slowly, painfully. For the first time, he understood the months he had missed, the moments he could never get back. I repeated the words, slowly, deliberately, letting each one sink in. You weren't here. 2 simple words, but they carried the weight of every lonely night, every tear, every fear I had faced alone. My mom gasped. What did you say? She whispered, her voice trembling. I looked at both of them, calm but resolute. You weren't here, I said again. Clear, direct, final. I didn't cry. I didn't yell. I didn't plead. I simply spoke the truth. And the truth hit them harder than anything I could have imagined. My dad's lips quivered. His eyes filled with unshed tears. He opened his mouth, but no words could undo the silence he had left behind. My mom's hands shook as she clutched her purse, suddenly aware of every moment she had skipped, every call she had ignored. The room felt smaller, charged with tension. I could feel the shift in the air, the sudden awareness that I had become stronger than their absence. I had survived, endured, and fought without them. I survived, I said softly, my voice steady. With or without you. They were speechless. No apology, no excuse, only silence. A silence that spoke louder than words. For months, I had lived in their absence, learning the harsh truth. Sometimes the people you expect to protect you the most are the ones who fail you completely. And sometimes you realize the only person you can truly rely on is yourself. I felt a strange mix of relief and sorrow. Relief that I finally voiced the truth. Sorrow for all the moments lost, the emotional wounds that might never fully heal. But through it all, I also felt power, a strength I had never known before. In that moment, I realized something crucial. Abandonment cannot break you. It can only show you how strong you already are. And with those 4 words, I had made them understand exactly what that absence had cost them. The truth was out. The silence had spoken. And for the first time in months, I felt like I was finally in control of my own story. The room was silent. For the first time, the people who had abandoned me, who had left me to fight cancer alone, had nothing to say. My dad's hands trembled. My mom's face had gone pale. Even the nurses outside seemed to sense the tension that hung heavy in the air. I could see it in their eyes. Shock, guilt, disbelief. The reality of their absence was finally hitting them like a physical blow. All those months, all the missed appointments, the nights I cried alone, they were finally forced to confront it. I didn't wait for apologies. I didn't need them. I had already survived the impossible without their support. The strength I had discovered in their absence was more powerful than any words they could offer now. I stood up slowly, my body weak from treatment, but my spirit stronger than ever. I survived, I said, my voice steady, echoing in the small hospital room. With or without you. My dad swallowed hard. His throat moved, but no sound came out. My mom's hands shook as she gripped the edge of the bed. My words had left them speechless, and for the first time, they realized the weight of what they had missed. I looked at them both and felt a sense of calm wash over me. For simple words had done what months of silent suffering could not. They had made them see the truth. You weren't here. That statement had cut deeper than any argument, any lecture, any pleading could have. It was the reality they had avoided for too long, and now there was no escaping it. I took a deep breath and smiled softly, not out of cruelty, but out of recognition. I had fought, I had endured, I had survived, and in that moment, I finally understood that some battles are fought not for the approval of others, but for yourself. They had abandoned me, and yet I had become unbreakable. I left the hospital that day with my head held high. The experience had changed me, forged me into someone stronger, someone who no longer needed the presence of those who could not be there. Some wounds never fully heal, but the strength you gain from them becomes your power. And sometimes 4 words are enough to make those who hurt you understand the gravity of what they've lost. You weren't here. And that was all I needed to say.